Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman, y'all better not let them in. They gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain. The cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch I step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch how I touch down, pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that, yeah. I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah. I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my, yeah. Run it, I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been better. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed in heaven, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're hand and crypto. Learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities and never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to prove something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman, y'all better not let them in. They gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain. The cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit. I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah. Said you gon' pull up, then settle it, yeah. I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch I step in it, yeah. And I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here. Watch how I touch down, pulling plans out the clutch. Everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now. Have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah.
Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. We're going to stop real quick to make sure that we have a sound check, since I'm doing this all via remote because Jason could not figure out how to do it.
Here we go. Here we go at the shot. Huh?
Yeah, I'm going to hit you with a shot. I'm absolutely going to hit you with a shot.
He mad because he's trash right now.
Y'all guys let us know if you can hear us.
I think everyone should be able.
All right, they say they can hear us. All right, man. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off, man. We got Rock Dog Interactive. You know, that's who we support. Also, the Black Father Figures, want to make sure we give them some shots out and love. And then we want to get right into it, Jay. Where do you want to start us off at? And forgive us for being late, guys. I am operating remote today. I'm literally doing all of this from my phone. So please bear with me as we do. This show might not be as efficient as it usually is. All right, Jay, where you want to start?
Hey, let's start with the fight that happened last night, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. Frank Martin versus your boy Double A.
Yeah. So we did a video earlier today that we dropped in regards to Frank Martin's performance last night, and I saw some of the comments in the comment section. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, Frank Martin is still a top caliber fighter, no doubt about that. I thought he won the fight. I felt like the Showtime announcers were giving Double A, which is what I'm going to call him, a little bit too much credit for some of the punches that he was throwing. Really, when you think about it, a lot of those punches were blocked by Frank Martin, but simply put, Frank wasn't doing a whole lot in some of those rounds, and because of that, it could be perceived that Double A was actually winning some of those rounds. I had the fight 7-5 in favor of Frank Martin with a knockdown. And I just feel that Frank, for whatever reason, bro, I cannot figure this out for the life of me. It seems like his game plan going into this fight was to sit back and try to counter Double A. And it wasn't working, Jay, in my opinion. It wasn't working. And it was clear to me that when Frank was aggressive and got off first, which is what Derrick James was, in my opinion, saying to him, he was winning the fight, bro. He was winning the fight handily.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand why he didn't stick to that. I don't know if it was, usually Derrick James type fighters, they have a very high motor, so I don't believe he was a situation where he wasn't in shape. I cannot figure out why he was not switching to the game plan that obviously was working effectively for him. Now, is that a representation of maybe his IQ? I don't know. Is it just an off night? I don't know. But Frank, just based off of that performance, and I'm going to say this again, you are only as good as your last performance. So at this juncture, I don't think he beats Tank or Shakur. Not the way he looked last night. And I'm not just taking that one fight in isolation. I'm looking at everything. And as you step your levels up, of course, things are going to get harder when you get into the ring. So for me, I don't have him beating those guys right now. I think he can definitely show, improve, and get better. But I need to see more similar to Jaron Ennis.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think you had him beating Shakur or Tank anyway, but we thought it would have been a more competitive fight, like you said, it's only one fight. He looked good against Rivera, looked good against Martinez or whatever his new name is before that. But yeah, he looked like he was just, like you said, he was just slow. He just said he saw everything, but he just couldn't pull the trigger for whatever reason it may be. I had it as a close fight, but I had him winning the fight as well. He messed up on Double A's face, though. That's for sure.
He definitely did that.
Towards the end. But he wasn't listening to Derrick James neither. Derrick James was telling him, and at one point, Derrick James was like, "You got to knock this guy out." And, he's like, well, "Why aren't you doing it?" And Frank had no answer. It kind of reminded me of the way Devin Haney was. I think it was around 10 or 11 against Loma. When Devin sat down, he was just like, he figured me out. He looked kind of lost. He looked almost like giving up, but he showed flashes of what he could do if he let his hands go. Round 6, rounds 9, 10, 11, 12. So it wasn't so much what Double A was doing. It's more or less what Frank wasn't doing. Because he had the options to do it. But he just kept, one thing that kind of struck out to me, he was talking about how he was just worried about Double A's power. He didn't want to get hit with nothing stupid, which I understand. Overhand right that looping right can definitely be a game changer. But I don't know. He just seemed like he had an off night. They do have off nights. Fighters have off nights. His off night was worse than Boots' off night. Slightly was where Boots looked vulnerable against someone that couldn't cut off the ring versus someone that actually moves a little bit. He still won basically every round of that fight. Unlike Frank didn't win rounds because Frank wasn't busy. Anything Double A was doing so much to stop him, Frank was just stopping himself. It could be the fact that he's also, he's young as far as boxing experience. He's 27, 28, but he's only been boxing for the last 5-10 years professionally.
Yeah. So when Shakur Stevenson say that there's level to this, do you believe that that's a fair statement considering those guys have been fighting since they were younger?
Yeah, definitely a fair statement. Definitely a fair statement. I would say. Because there are levels, because going through the amateur, what through Shakur going through being an Olympian, he's seen almost everything. He's seen some of everything. Frank hasn't really seen that. I think it was something new for Frank in the ring, but he saw it, but he wasn't confident in his own ability to pull the trigger at that point in time. It was there, but he's like, I'm not going to do it yet. So it's fair. It's definitely levels to it. I mean, I still think it'll be a good ass fight with him and Shakur and him and Tank. Just because Shakur he doesn't have that knockout power like that. So I think it'll be a different fight. Now Tank, that's going to be scary. I think he'll be real scared to pull the trigger against Tank because of Tank's power.
Yeah, I want to address a couple of the comments in the comment section here. What's up, King Art? King Art in the building. King Art always be calling me out in the comment section, but I actually enjoy his comments. Where are we? TC Frank said Boots looked worse against Corinne. I actually agree with that. And someone said something else that I wanted to touch on.
I can see that because Boots has a higher potential right now. What we think Boots should be and what Boots is projected to be. Frank wasn't projected to be on Boots level like that, so I can see that.
Yeah, Jay said Alicia did her thing last night for sure. Frank ain't take the fight seriously, and it showed. And that could be it, Jay. But man, my thing is, it's hard to know exactly what it was, because like for me personally, okay, I don't take the fight seriously, but clearly this guy's a little bit better than what I thought he was. And oh, by the way, I now recognize that when I get off first, I have an advantage against this fighter. Whether I took the fighter lightly or not, why would I now capitalize on what's clearly an opportunity for me to win this fight? I get off first.
Yeah.
I damage this guy. So that's the reason why I'm struggling with the notion that he just took the guy lightly, right? Like, you can take a guy lightly and like, okay, this guy's better than what I thought. Let me go ahead and switch that gear on it and get it, I don't want to use a curse word, but get in his ass, right? Pause. I'm supposed to use a pause right there, right, Jay? But he didn't do that.
I got you.
He didn't do that. So that's where I'm a little bit like, I don't know. I can't necessarily blame it on, I didn't take the guy seriously, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool to say. I think this is kind of uncharacteristic of Frank as far as what he was constantly saying that he was going to get a knockout. He's going to knock him out. He's going to knock him out. Frank doesn't really I haven't seen him boisterous like that before in his other fights. So maybe the fact that he was a little bit overconfident, Double A came in there, did some things, kind of threw him off his game, and he'll maybe be a little bit better with footwork, because Double A is limped, but a bronzeless, so he has some pedigree, able to do little things that Frank not strong on in the ring, especially when it being actually in the ring versus being in sparring. So, but I give Frank credit. At the end of the fight, he was humbled. He's kind of humbled at the end of that fight. He was like, yeah, dude was tough, but he still wants to call. He still wants the big name, which makes sense. But I still think maybe one more fight. See what he does then versus someone else right now.
Yeah, exactly. I want to address a couple of things in the comment section. Mike Mattingly, I see him all the time in some of our videos. He says, I've been saying for a while, Frank is a good fighter, not an elite fighter, at least not yet. He simply isn't on Dev's, Shakur's, or Tank's level. I don't think he beats Loma either. Agree. I don't think he beats Shakur or Tank. Devin, I kind of feel like he doesn't beat Devin either. Not right now, just based off what I just saw. Yeah, I need to see another fight from Frank based off of yesterday, because I agree with what Jay just said in the comment section, which was admitted it after the fight. He said the guy was much tougher and saying things like, I'm a KO him. Shakur saying it's levels is exactly right. There are levels. And Frank, compared to Dev, Tank, and Shakur, is more of a novice, considering he started at around 18, 19, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there. These guys have been boxing since they were kids. So Frank Martin is a really good fighter, and he will challenge any one of those guys. I'm just not certain he can actually beat them at this stage. I think he may need one or two more fights, Jay. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think he needs one or two more fights. I think that was an eye opener for him. And an opportunity to improve, similar to what we said about Jaron Ennis. I think there's an opportunity for Ennis, which we're going to go into that because I'm curious to hear what everybody got to say in the chat in regards to this. But yeah, I think he may need one or two more fights there.
Yeah, I agree with that. There are levels to it. You can try to go in the fast track, but when you fighting people that have a big amateur background that you don't have, it's going to be a little difficult for you.
Similar to another fight that we see on the 29th. Pedigree matters. Similar to a fight on the 29th. A guy that had over 100 and some amateur fights versus 50. A guy that went to the Olympics versus one that didn't. Pedigree matters. Anyway.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Pedigree matters. Jay, what else do we want to cover in regards to Frank Martin? Anything else we want to cover in regards to Frank? I mean, I think a lot of people see it the same way. This doesn't seem to evoke the same level of vitriol that I see in the comment section as Jaron Ennis for whatever reason. But I think most people feel like Frank is a good fighter. Frank may need one or two more fights, but he's still a good fighter and probably more than likely will deserve a shot at one of those guys in the next one or two fights.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. Just not there yet. He has potential, but he's not there yet.
Look at Mark M and King Art. I know they were going to come in here, but Undisputed doesn't, huh? Not against. I'm talking about pedigree, the pedigree in which he demonstrated to win Undisputed, or at least the pedigree of the fighters that he won Undisputed against. Their pedigree was not there, Mark M. So yes, the Undisputed, he did accomplish that, but the pedigree of the fighters that he did it against wasn't quite there, my friend. All right, Jay. What do we want to make? This Boots Ennis thing got me hot, Jay.
Let's go ahead. Let's jump into it, man. Let's jump into Boots.
Man, this is what I don't understand. And folks in the comments section, feel free, especially the guys that I know are always here, Mr. Vegas, Jay, King Art, Mark M, Bruce Gas. I know a lot of you people are always here in the comments section. I consider you guys family. I respect what you guys have to say in regards to what I say. So I know you guys are going to keep it real with me. Jaron Ennis, I feel like on this channel, we have said on multiple occasions that we feel that Jaron Ennis is a super, super talented fighter. But we want to see more because the level of competition so far has been probably C or B level. I think Villa was a B level fighter, but I think prior to Villa, more than likely C level competition. But he looks great from an eye test perspective. Now, when he fought Corinne, maybe Corinne was a B level fighter as well. When he fought Corinne demonstrated something that we had not seen against Jaron Ennis, which was movement. That movement did provide some challenge for Jaron Ennis. I did not say that Jaron Ennis lost any of those rounds. I just felt that a fighter that we're saying is at this level that can do everything, because that's what the supporters of Jaron Ennis are saying, that he can do everything. And when you elevate someone to that level, of course, people are now going to nitpick a little bit more. So that is one of the things that I saw. It's like he didn't handle that movement well. And when Corinne stopped and planted and threw shots, he was able to connect. Now, my thought back then was, well, what happens when he gets into the ring with somebody that can move like that and that actually has power? They could have really given him a challenge. Now, there is a fair point to make the statement that there is nobody at welterweight today that can. And Jay, are you still there? Like we lost you. Are you there?
Yeah, it's raining over here.
Oh, okay. Hopefully your video will come back up soon. Yeah, so there's nobody at welterweight that demonstrates that level of skill, right? Or at least fights in that style, right? Errol Spence doesn't do it. Maybe Terence Crawford could have done it years ago, but he doesn't have the legs to do it anymore. Keith Thurman, the 28-year-old version, I think would have given him a lot of problems. But Keith would have also gone into the ring with a lot of disadvantages. So those are all facts to me. You know what I mean? Like, he clearly was bothered by the movement. Now, people want to call it running. He's a runner. This guy ran. Notice that anytime your favorite fighter has an issue cutting off the ring, then all of a sudden the guy's a runner. Last night, Double A was moving a lot, but Frank Martin, the cutting off the ring wasn't the issue for Frank, right? Frank not initiating his offense was the issue. He cut off the ring just fine. To me, Ennis had an issue cutting off the ring. And that's okay to point that out, right? That's my opinion. That's okay to point it out. I like Ennis, but let me make one other statement. For those of the people that come into the comment section and basically saying that Jaron Ennis is going to beat Errol Spence or Terence Crawford, my rebuttal to that has always been, what has he demonstrated or what opponent is on his resume that would indicate that he will be either one of those gentlemen? And not to say that I believe that Terence Crawford has a strong resume, because I don't, but I haven't seen anything from Jaron Ennis that would suggest that he can do that. So guys, I definitely want to get your guys' opinion on that. Jay, you look like you back.
I'm back now, man. This storming over here right now. It's knocking everything off and on over here for me. Damn.
Oh, okay. But anyway,
yeah, but no, I mean,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
mean, but what you said about Boots prior before I lost everything. The thing with Boots and Karan, he won every round, but the expectation was up here.
Because his fans set that expectation so high.
Fans and himself, him saying he's just gonna, get his Mike Tyson on. Now this doesn't mean that Boots is all of a sudden a horrible fighter. No, we just saw something that was a potential vulnerability for him. He's still a damn good fighter. We still see him as taking over 147. We just want to see what he does against a runner, not a runner, but a fighter similar to that style. That's on a higher level. See if he makes adjustments. See if he cuts that ring off on that against that fighter. See what he's learned from the prior experience. Although he won every round, he had vulnerabilities against someone else's movements because he looked off. He was definitely rushing. A homecoming fight, trying to do too much over there. He said he put the expectations up here. I'm going to knock him out. Kind of basically what Frank did. I'm going to knock him out. Now some parts of that fight, Karan was just there to survive. But when he was there to be hit, Boots was still struggling at times. He did like a ballerina a couple times with some of those punches on there. That's all. That's not saying we think Boots sucks. I see Boots as the future. I just want to see him more develop. Just like any other fighter, when we see them struggle or look vulnerable in some aspect, we want to see them right that wrong against another fighter just like that.
Yeah. So I want to respond to Jay's super chat, which I don't know why Amen thought he needed to remind me to do it. I'm definitely going to read it. So shout out to my boy Jay, man. Appreciate the $9.99. Y'all know y'all my boys. Yeah, absolutely, Jay. That's the reason why I called your name out specifically. But Boots won every round against Karan. We stated that. We agree with you. Frank lost about 4 or 5 rounds. I agree with that. What's wrong with your comparison, respectfully? Your comparison is more like Teo versus Sandor Martin. I'm not comparing the fights specifically. I'm comparing an aspect of the fight. I'm comparing the ability to actually cut off the ring versus Jaron Ennis versus Frank Martin. That's all I was comparing. I'm not actually comparing the totality of the fight, right? And so with Ennis, all I'm saying is that, yes, he won all 12 rounds. I agree with that. But the comments that I've made in regards to both fighters are the same, Jay. I want to see more from Frank. I want to see more from Jaron. I want to see more from Frank because he did not initiate offense or show the level of IQ that was required in that fight. I want to see more from Jaron Ennis because he didn't show a level of ability when it came to cutting off the ring. Both cases, I want to see more. It's just for different reasons. So that's the reason why I was making that comparison, if that makes sense.
And again, neither one of us said Boots is not good. we think very highly of Boots. Boots. I
do.
He's a demon in there.
But Jay, tell them how excited I was the night when they won. I'm literally posting in the chat, man. Did you just see what Boots just did to Philly?
Greg was fanboying.
I was fanboying. Then I had to pull myself back and say, okay, hold up, Greg. You got to put it in the proper context. The proper context is this. Villa, good fighter, but he's still very similar to what we've seen in the ring before with Jaron Ennis. I still want to see that next step in Jaron in terms of being able to deal with a mover, because Ennis, number one, it shows me that, listen, this kid is so good that he could have something that could be perceived as a deficiency, go back to the lab, and in one fight, change it, or in 2 or 3 fights, whatever, change it. So that's the reason why I want to see this. Like, man, if he closed that gap, man, he might have everything. I don't know. But he's also not been in the ring with some fighters that could maybe draw out some of the other deficiencies that he might have in his game. So I test wise, he looks like he's good. But I just want to see more before I hop on the bandwagon. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah. The thing with Boots is, like, Boots impressed me with Villa. Although Villa was tailor-made, as he stated, as well for him. Boots impressed me, although I didn't like him getting hit. It's boxing, you're gonna get hit. He took some nice shots. You know, but one thing with Boots, he takes shots, but he rolls with them. He does a very good job of rolling with them, so they're not as flush as sometimes he kind of like he goes with it. So it looks worse and worse till you watch it again. So I mean, he shows he has a good chin. You know, he was having fun in there, and I think that's the type of Boots needs to go out there just having fun. The fight against Karan, I don't think he was really having fun. He was just too busy trying to impress everyone with the Mike Tyson style knockout, and that's not him. That knockout will come just based on the type of fighter he is, I believe. I think
he looked sharper. He looked a little sharper to me versus Villa, but then again, Karan wasn't there to be hit as much as Villa was. Listen, even Jaron Ennis said the guy was tailor-made for him. He said the guy was tailor-made for him. That's his own words. So, now let me say this. Do I think that there's anybody at welterweight that beats him right now? No, because there's no one that is actually outside of maybe Spence and Crawford. There's nobody that demonstrates the one thing that we could even consider to be a deficiency. So I don't think anybody outside of those two gentlemen could possibly beat him. My only caveat in response to those who are fans of Jaron Ennis, which I am as well, is you cannot come to me and definitively say that he beats Errol Spence or Terence Crawford because there's no evidence based off of his resume that he will. That's my only problem. If you say you believe he'll beat him because of XYZ, I can get with that. But if you're telling me that definitively, oh man, those guys are going to run from him because they can't simply beat him. Now, is he a risk that they don't want to take? Sure, I agree.
Yeah, he is.
Errol Spence and Terence Crawford are not fighting Jaron Ennis. I'll be the first to say that. Now, unless the bag is big enough. Now, you come in there, you offer both of those gentlemen $20 million. They're going to get right in the ring with Jaron Ennis.
I don't know if Bud will. Because Bud doesn't seem like he's really thinking about that to that degree. Spence said he would. You know, Spence said he'll fight Jermell if the money's right. So I think Bud right now, after this fight here, I think Bud will probably look at, because I mean, it's not going to prove anything for Bud.
Yeah.
You know, win, lose,
it don't prove
draw,
anything for either one. If they beat him, then people like me are going to say, see, he wasn't ready yet. And then if they lose, you know, all they got is the paycheck. Well, in this particular case, it won't be much of a paycheck because Ennis doesn't bring that level of interest at this moment. So neither one of those guys are going to fight him, man. They'd be stupid too. If I'm Errol Spence, I'm going up and I'm finding me another 30-something-year-old to fight. And Terence Crawford too. I'm not fighting that young kid, man. That's a waste of my time.
Oh no, definitely not.
It could be damaging to my health. So that's my opinion on that, Jay. Anything else we want to cover in regards to Jaron Ennis? I just wanted to address that. If you guys truly feel like that we don't give Jaron Ennis his just due, or quote unquote we're hating on Jaron Ennis, please leave a comment right now in the live chat. I would appreciate that. Specifically those of you who I know are always here: Rafa Casanova, Mr. Vegas, JV, Planet 619, King Art, Mark, Jay, all you guys that I know are here on a regular basis. If you guys feel that we are, please let me know, because I want to understand what it is that we're seeing that comes off as hate.
Yeah.
B Megastar, what's going on with you?
Especially on Boots.
All right, Jay, what's the next topic you want to cover, bro?
I mean, let's hop back down to the 135 on there, seeing a little back and forth between Teo and Haney, since Teo is now unretired. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's your boy, man.
Teofimo Lopez. Well, first and foremost, we know that Teofimo Lopez was never retired. There was never any notion. It's almost like LeBron James coming out on the ESPYs and saying that he's not retiring. Luckily for you guys, I'm not retiring. Teo has that
Duh.
same level of arrogance, if you will. We know you weren't retiring. It's interesting though the comment that he made specifically to Devin Haney. I would love to see that fight. I don't think Devin's going to stick around at 135 to fight anybody other than Tank. If it's not Tank, it's not going to happen. My
Yeah,
opinion. Devin,
135. I agree.
yeah, I think Devin is big for the weight. I think he's going to move up. Now that Teo's calling him out, we'll see. I think Regis may be an opportunity. I don't know if Eddie Hearns is really going to make that fight. Teofimo, considering the fact that Devin Haney was just signed with Top Rank for a few fights, maybe that could possibly materialize. I love that fight. I've been wanting to see those two in the ring against each other for a very long time. Prior to the Josh Taylor fight, I would have told you that I think Devin Haney washes him. I'm not so sure about that anymore. As delusional as T.O. is, man, he's looking like he's maybe his dad was right and his dad was holding him back. I don't know. But he looked really good against Josh Taylor. Now, there is a possibility that Josh Taylor was washed because Josh doesn't look as strong as he did before.
Yeah.
But I mean, but I'm going to give T.O. full credit and say that that Josh Taylor was a good enough version of Josh Taylor, and that T.O. just went in there and did his thing, and that was the reason why. So I'm interested in seeing that fight. Do you believe that Teofimo Lopez is actually truly interested in making that fight, or is it just lip service as he goes to Twitter and kind of goes back and forth with Devin Haney?
You know, my belief has always been business don't get done in public. You know, so I mean that's one thing I don't like about it. Here. I'm retiring. Okay, cool. Let's talk about let's sign it. Da 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 da. Just do it on the back end. You know, first off, we don't even know who Devin's a free agent, so he's free. You know, we still don't know the real details of T.O.'s deal. I think he has one more fight with Top Rank, or two more. You know, that's the thing. We don't know what's going on with that. So, would I like to see this fight? Yeah. Do I think it's going to happen?
Can I
don't know.
Can I address something from Manolo? Greg, you have your bias towards certain fighters and require more from others. You have always needed to see more from Boots than Ortiz. Why? I think that's a great question. I think this is where misunderstandings or misinterpretations occur, Jay. Ortiz is just one of my favorite fighters. I just really like Ortiz. I think Boots is better than Ortiz is definitely more flawed than Boots Ennis. I've never said Ortiz, I don't need to see more from Ortiz. I never said that. I think Ortiz gives him a better fight than Villa. But I've never said that Ortiz was a better fighter or that he was fundamentally better than Jaron Ennis. This is where I believe just comments that I make in regards to fighters that I like gets misconstrued into something else. Now, somebody in the comment section made a comment about Errol Spence and that on this channel that we don't criticize Errol Spence. Well, guess what? That's a pretty fair statement. That's actually pretty fair. I thought about that and I said, man, they're right. We don't really criticize Errol as much as we possibly could. And so in that regards, I would say there is a bias, a favorable bias towards Errol Spence. But I would honestly say I don't think there's a favorable or unfavorable bias towards any other fighter, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But that's true. I got to keep it real. When someone made that statement about Spence, I said that's facts. We don't really criticize Spence like that. And maybe there is, maybe we should. But Spence don't give you a whole lot to criticize. But a part of that is our bias towards Spence, and I agree. Somebody, Jay, in the comment section called us Errol Spence ball washers. Dude, I laughed so hard when I saw that comment, man. He says, y'all the biggest Errol Spence ball washers on the internet.
Why do y'all go to the sexual type stuff, man, every time, man? Why?
Oh, my God. That was so funny, though.
Why?
I think it's so funny. But, yeah, it's all good, bro. I don't see Ortiz as being fundamentally better than Boots, and I do need to see more from Ortiz as well. So let me put that on the record.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with Spence is I'm always about fundamentals. Spence has those. Now, the thing about Spence I didn't like before the accident was him being out of shape like he was. Not being true to the game. And it seemed like after that incident, he's been more true to the game.
But we didn't have a YouTube channel then. We didn't have a
No,
YouTube channel then. So that's the reason why we didn't criticize him. We couldn't criticize him then. We didn't have a channel at that moment. So I just wanted to address that, man. Mandalo, that was a great question, though. I wanted to address that. Jay, where were we, man? I'm so sorry. I got us all.
We're talking about the 135 with Teo and Haney. I mean, that'd be a great fight to see. I don't know if that fight was going to materialize, because if I'm Haney, he says he's moving to 140. That's cool. They sparred before, and it seemed like it was a good sparring match between the two when one of them getting more than the other. Plus, it was years ago. So, I mean, this would be a good matchup. Now, as far as is it pay-per-view worthy? I mean, do they pack it out like that? I mean, Haney versus Lomachenko. Haney versus Kambosos. Kambosos was definitely the one that was driving it more because it was in Australia. So I don't know if it'd be pay-per-view worthy necessarily. I mean, it's a great fight. But if I'm Haney, if I'm staying at 135, I'm looking for the cash. I'm looking for the cash and to prove myself against Tank. That's what I'm really shooting for. If I'm Devin Haney, that's my goal for this year, to get that Tank fight. That's my
that's the money. That's the number one. That's the
money fight, and it's legacy too in this for you. I mean, because Tank is that dude at 135. Even without the belts, he's that dude at 135. So you take him on, get paid, and you beat him. It's a win-win. Then you got more leverage at 140.
Yeah, it's a win-win for Devin. It's just simply put, it's a win-win for Devin. So if I'm Devin, I'm absolutely trying to make that fight. Win, lose, or draw, I'm in a better position than what I was. If I win, I beat Tank. If I lose, I lost to Tank. So I think that's a fight that I'm going to try to make, unless there's no way possible that I can make that fight. And by the way, Tank has shown interest in fighting both Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson. So there's definitely a possibility that fight can be made. So I don't know. We'll see. Teo, if he doesn't get Tank, then I would say Teo is a good consolation prize. I would love to see him in the fight with Teo or Regis. I mean,
Now Regis said he won.
Say that again.
Everybody want Devin now all of a sudden. Is he fooled?
Well, I think Devin wants Regis because I believe he thinks that the style that Regis just faced here recently is a style that is inferior version of his style. So I think he thinks that he has the ability to go up there and win a title at 140 pounds. And he probably thinks he can beat Teo too. I don't know, man. Both of those fights would be good. I'd be really curious to see if one of those fights gets made. I mean, it would really cap off an amazing year in boxing as far as I'm concerned, Jay.
Best year in boxing, for sure, by far.
Facts. Big facts.
Continues like this, it's the best by far. Easily.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now go ahead. I was about to say along same lines with the 135 with Devin. Speaking of Devin, Shakur petitions WC for it to be the Mando, and trying for the 50-50.
Yeah. I want to address something real quick. People say, so there's some people in the comment section saying that Devin is food. We thought Teo was food too. Yeah. Styles make fights, guys. Styles make fights.
It definitely does.
So Shakur Stevenson petitioned the WBC for a 50-50 split. Again, let me preface my comments by saying that I enjoy Shakur Stevenson. I think he's probably one of the most technically sound fighters in the sport, although I still need to see more from him as well. Only at 135 pounds. Yeah, I want to see more from him at 135. But I like Shakur. With that being said, so Shakur should have already had beef with the WBC in regards to the fact that they moved him out of the number one mandatory position and installed Lomachenko instead. That should have been his number one main beef, but instead he took all of his energy towards Devin Haney. I like Shakur. I don't think there's anything wrong with being public about your desire to make a fight, but why are you taking a 25% deal to the public? I mean, if you're truly trying to make the fight, just go to Bob Arum and have that conversation. Listen, 25% isn't going to cut it. We need to figure out something else. So that's my only challenge with Shakur. And then the comment that I understand and know that I'm not the A side yet. You petitioned the WBC and asked for a 50-50 split, that it be mandated. That's challenging for me. Now, some people will go and say that Shakur Stevenson is just a negotiating posture. It's a negotiating posture when you're actually communicating directly to the person or with the person that you're actually negotiating with. You're not negotiating with anybody right now. You're trying to go to a third party in hopes that they will enforce a 50-50 split. That's not negotiating. That's you trying to go to this third party and have them change their rules. So, clearly he wants to fight. I think he believes well, I won't say clearly. I would say more than likely he wants to fight. I think he wants to go. I think Shakur views himself as way up here with all the rest of the fighters at 135 pounds. Personally, I view him like that skill-wise. I don't view him like that in terms of popularity or accomplishments or any of those things. So I view it as Tank, Devin, and then Shakur somewhere a little bit below Devin. And so I think Shakur, I was surprised that Shakur was mandated as a mandatory and only had one fight at 135 pounds. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I never got that. So if he looks like he wants to skip the line, I don't think he wants to fight too many fighters. I think he sees Devin as an opportunity, possibly that he can beat Devin and have all the titles and be undisputed in one shot. So, so we'll see what ends up happening with that. I don't think much is going to come out of that at all, to be quite honest with you. I don't think they're going to. They put Lomachenko there for a reason, so why would they move him now? That's my thought on it.
Because even Bob said his whole goal was to have Shakur and Loma fight. You know, Devin ruined that by beating Loma. Regardless of what anyone says, he beat Loma. He got the win. It was a close fight. It wasn't a robbery. You know, but I'm not mad at Shakur for trying to put. I'm not mad at him for petitioning. Now I'm mad at the fact that it took him this long to petition. He should have had a problem when they first put Loma ahead of him. He kind of just took it like, oh well, and then he started going at Devin and everyone else. Nah, you should have been put at one. They kept Loma there, and you kind of was just like cool with it, you know. And you waited for a while, then now you want to make a big stink about it. Like, nah, you definitely not getting no 50-50. Not at 135. Not at 135. Nah, you don't have any. He don't have any leverage on this at all, you know. So, I mean, he's not going to get this fight with Devin. I don't see it happening. If I'm Devin, I'm working for this Tank fight or I'm moving up. That's the only thing I'm doing at 135. It's no reason for him to be there because he did what he was supposed to do and he put in the work to kind of get those belts. Although he just had to fight one person to get undisputed, he still had to go put the work in to do that and had to go over to Australia twice. So he did that. Not saying Campos is some world beater, but he beat Teo. So I mean, I want Shakur to get another fight. I know what Shakur's been trying. I know some people have been ducking him, namely like Isaac Cruz. Although Isaac Cruz said he never ducked, but I think it was a duck. You know, because Shakur is high risk, low reward right now. The kid can fight. You know, I just want to see him at 135 against some of the higher, better names. If he can get those chances, you know, but
yeah, he should fight Frank. I mean, he said his levels, right? So if his levels to it, go ahead and fight Frank, and show us the levels.
Yeah. So I mean,
to me, that's a good win for Shakur, man. I
think a great win for Shakur. I would too. I would definitely put Shakur, you know, but just being one fight in at 135. And just, you know, saying 50-50 and all this stuff. I get it's a business tactic, you know, trying, you know, go high and then settle out, you know, you'll settle for 60-40, you know, even 65-35, you know, but it's just crazy right now with that situation there. But we'll see. I don't know who he's going to have next because he needs a dance partner soon, you know, because he last fought back in March or something like that. Yeah. In a while.
Yeah.
So
Jay said Shakur will stop Frank. Would love to see that fight. I would love to see that fight too.
that'd be a great
I
fight.
would love to see that fight. And if again, if there's levels to it, then take
Mm-hmm.
that fight, man. And my thing is this, Jay. You take that fight and you beat Frank, then guess what? Now you're putting pressure on everybody at 135 pounds. You got to accept this fight, my man.
Exactly. And Frank
You
even
got it.
said Frank said everyone needs to fight each other the tops at 135. They haven't fought each other yet, anyone else as of yet. So
Right.
that's true. And I agree with Mark M. People are just disrespecting Dev. I'm like, Dev is the most disrespected undisputed champion I've ever seen, I believe. you know, I mean, Dev, the kid can still fight. He got caught against Linares. We know about that. What, round 10 or 11, he got hurt against Loma. He had a rough 2 rounds, 10 rounds, 10 and 11. Loma shoe shining at the end of the rounds doesn't necessarily make you win a round. That's what Loma was doing in that fight there for the most part. Loma didn't start doing anything until like round 9. So I mean, I
Yeah.
need Devin to do a little bit more than what he did against Loma. But I mean, if it's working, then if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you're gonna have to adjust. Now it was concerning. But ain't the most disrespected undisputed champion. But it's not undisputed right now.
I guess he's talking about I guess he's talking about former. I don't know.
No, I'm
Aquabud.
talking
What's
about
up,
current.
Aquabud? Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
I'm talking about current. So I mean, the way Dev just gets disrespected is just crazy to me. But I want to see what he can do. I want to see him fight. I want to see him fight Tank. If he moves up,
Yeah.
fight Regis. I don't want to see anyone fight Rolly right now. Rolly shouldn't even have the belt. With the old man, granddad beat his ass, so he shouldn't have that fight. No way. Yeah,
Thanks.
bro. Loma spent too much time downloading. Exactly.
Hey man, let's pause here real quick, man. We got 191 people in the building. We got 80 likes, guys. If you're in the building right now, please hit the like button or the dislike button if you don't like the content. But make sure that you are engaging. And if this is your first time visiting our channel, this is AM Sports Media, the Angry Man Podcast. We are always dropping content on a regular basis. Fight breakdowns, videos, all of that. We're doing it. So become a part of the family. Oh, by the way, for those of you who asked us, how do you get these hats, these shirts and all that other stuff? Well, we now have merchandise. If you go and check the channel, you can go to the store. You see we have merchandise, and we're definitely going to create some additional merchandise as well. So if you guys are interested in these cool Angry Man hats and these AM Sports Media hats, then go check out the store and make sure that you comment and let us know if there's anything else you would like for us to drop with some merch. So appreciate you guys. C. Dewberry, what's going on, man? Appreciate you, man. $10. Support my brothers. Thank you so much. All right, Jay. So I just did my little spiel there. So what's next?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into some of the stuff from this All Access and some of the videos that came out about Bud. People
Yeah.
talking about will Bud need to start fast against Spence? Will he need to start fast?
Yeah,
I think so.
that's a great question. It depends. Like he could get down in rounds, but Bud being the counterpuncher that he is, could he clip Errol toward the end of the later rounds and get him up out of there? There's a reason why Errol always talks about his concentration and making sure that he's focused the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Because against a fighter like Terence Crawford with the counterpunching ability, it's the shots that you don't see coming is the ones that can get you up out of there. So do I think it's necessary for him to start off fast? No. Because as long as he can start off and get going by round 3 or 4, and if he can do, something that he's done in past fights, then no. But when I think about Spence, and actually, you know what? Let me revise my comment because I don't think this is clear. Ordinarily, I would say that he doesn't need to get out to a fast start, but Spence also picks up steam as the rounds get going. So if Spence has already won a few rounds and Terence started picking up steam, but Spence is also picking up that same level of steam, then yeah, he could be in trouble in terms of if the fight goes to the scorecards. If he's relying on maybe trying to catch Spence with something that he doesn't see because he's a really good counterpuncher, he's very athletic, then I guess the answer would be no. He doesn't need to get out to a strong start or a fast start. I guess it just depends on how he views the fight and whether or not he can hurt Spence and get him up out of there. I guess that's my answer, Jay.
Yeah, I think he has to start fast because the way Spence does, he just increases his output, and the pressure.
Yeah.
Bud just can't sit back and just be lazy and try to learn down. Be like Bud can't be like Loma.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can't be Loma against T.O., can't be Loma against Dev. Because by that time, it's too late. And he not only that, he's not going to just absorb a jab, a 1-2, or a few body shots. He's going to be absorbing punishment. That's going to change his whole thought process if he doesn't start off fast. So I think he'll have to start off fast. Otherwise, it's going to be a hard uphill battle for him. For real. Just the way Spence fights.
JV said Bud getting beat by little ninjas in sparring, but okay, at King KO. I don't. So I haven't heard much about anything coming out of the camps. Both of them look like they're in tremendous shape right now. Spence, you can already see Spence leaning out. We saw him last night. He's clearly leaned out in his face. So it looks like both guys are on target. I saw a picture of Terence Crawford. He looked pretty shredded. So I think both guys are gonna be go, man. It's gonna be it's a clash in styles that is very interesting. Yep. And that's the reason why I have it as a 50-50. I think Spence is gonna have to be on his P's and Q's. I think Terence Crawford is a really good and fast and athletic fighter. Now I will say this, I think Spence only has to be on his P's and Q's for the first 6 rounds, depending on how the first 6 rounds goes. If Spence has been able to accumulate a level of damage against Terence Crawford by the middle rounds, Terence is going to be far less effective as a counterpuncher.
Yeah.
But if he hasn't, then Spence is going to have to be sharp all 12 rounds because Bud is fast, athletic, and can counterpunch. He has great timing.
And notice what's been consistent with Spence been saying. Spence says he has to stay be focused the whole fight. He knows that because Bud is a great counterpuncher. Hey, y'all, guess what? He just gave Bud credit on something.
Oh, no. They never hear those. They never hear those comments, Jay. The only comments they hear is that we say he's going to lose and that his resume is trash.
Man.
But that's true. Well, it's not true. His resume isn't trash. That's too aggressive. But it's not as good as people try to pretend it is.
Hey, Jay, exact. Spence is talking that ish for real. I mean, he talked ish against Sean Porter. The thing with Spence, he has to make sure he stays true to him. He can't do like he did against Sean Porter and fight his fight. He can't get into a fight and fight Bud's fight. He has to stay on what he does best. Pump that jab, pressure, body. He can't sit there and try to be a big time counterpuncher and waiting on Bud to tee off and stuff like that. He has to be his fighter. He has to impose his will on his game plan. Same thing. Bud has a punch with Spence. I think he has a punch in between Spence's when Spence is coming in.
Rafa Casanova, that is exactly right. We've been saying that for months. What kind of concerning for Bud is his movements? He's not moving like he used to. I mean, David advertisement was cutting him off at times. Facts. He doesn't move like he did when he first got to the welterweight limit against Jeff Horn. I mean, he doesn't have that same level of lateral movement now. Is it possible that he just simply hasn't been using it? Maybe, but or maybe he's fallen in love with his power since he's been able to knock everybody out. Or maybe it's the gloves.
The love gate.
They wanted me to ask the question. So we had I know this is off topic, but they had the virtual press conference. Jason, as you are aware, we get invited to some of these different things now. As a matter of fact, they got the presser next week as well. Not the presser, but the media day workouts. So I think I lost my train of thought, Jason, because I was just thinking about how we were going to cover that, and I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I just started laughing about the glove gate. And
that's what it was. Yeah, they wanted
real quick, Greg. Joking about glove gate with Bud does not mean that we're saying Bud won that fight against David Avenesian because of the gloves. That's not what we're saying. So please don't take that out of context.
No, we just messing around, or are we? But yeah, they wanted me to ask specifically about the gloves. And I had a couple of questions lined up, but Jay, honestly, if you're not one of the bigger outlets, you will not have any opportunity to ask a question. But I wanted to ask them, like, what stipulations do they currently have in the contract? Like, is there VADA testing involved? Are there specific gloves that need to be worn? I did want to ask that question because people are interested in knowing that. And to be quite honest, no one has asked that question, surprisingly. So I was going to ask, but I never got a chance. I don't even think they set you up to actually be able to, because like they were saying, take yourself off mute, and I was looking everywhere. I'm like, where's the freaking mute button? Like, where's the mute button so I can take my? And I don't think you're set up to actually be able to, because they're never going to come to you. But go ahead.
I wouldn't doubt that. Would not doubt that at all, man.
Damn. Ronald Lusant said, "Go FSU, go Noles." He is absolutely right. But we got a lot of FSU fans that follow the channel, man. It's amazing, but we have fans all across the country, unlike some schools.
Oh Lord, how many championships y'all got? Oh yeah, exactly. Stay back.
How many y'all
Stay
got?
Back
how many y'all got in the last 20 years? How many y'all got in the last 20 years? How many y'all got in the last 20 years?
Same amount as y'all.
No, 20 years is 2003.
How many
we
y'all
got? One.
We got one. Oh, my bag.
03.
I'm sorry, 22 years. We should have two because Ohio State robbed us on now. But
man, you didn't get robbed.
Even you know that.
Lost. Anyway, what's the next topic, bro?
That's FSU. Yeah.
We better than you. Bama Jeff say roll time.
Oh man, you sound like Stephen A. Smith on that, man.
Yeah.
God damn. But now, Jay, speaking of Spence whole deal, what about them? The concession Spence had to give up.
Oh man, that was crazy. So Jay, we have been on here saying this for a very long time in regards to Errol Spence and Terence Crawford in negotiations, and I was saying, everybody kept saying, "Oh, you guys, you don't know you don't know what's going on in negotiations." Blah blah blah. All you have to do is look and listen to what Terence Crawford and Errol Spence have said over the last several months to understand that the issue in terms of the negotiation was with Terence Crawford. It's not hard to tell. Errol basically said that they would concede to something that Terence Crawford wanted, some of which was outrageous, and then he would move the goalposts again. And so Errol had to make concessions with the split because he really wanted to fight. They're doing a coin flip, Jay, for who comes out second. Terence Crawford is coming to the table talking about the belts that he's won and all the accomplishments that were made. Dog, you don't get paid based off of your accomplishments. If that was the case, Jake Paul would make no money at all. He wouldn't even be in the sport, right?
Exactly.
So it's not about what you have accomplished. It's about who wants to see you. Period. It's not like how your job is, Jay, or my job, the experience, or Mr. Vegas' job, or Jay's job, or JV's job, or whoever's job. Ohio Style Lyrics is not like us, where what we've done in the past builds our resume, and our resume dictates what we get paid in the future or in the present. It doesn't work like that. When you're in entertainment, it's all about what you attract, the eyeballs that you attract to your entertainment. That is what it's about. Exactly. And Terence Crawford does not attract those eyeballs in that regard. So it is what it is. No, King Art, no, both sides didn't have issues. Only one side had issues.
One side had issues. One side kept saying that I will never fight. This fight's never going to happen. Only one side was saying that. Only one side took a backdoor deal and was doing business with another company. Only one side did that.
Facts.
So let's not be revisiting this with the history now. It's just ridiculous. And the fact that he wants to do a coin flip to see who goes out second is ridiculous. Acting like he's the A side when you have, hell, you can just, if that's okay, what you accomplished, okay, what you did at 147. One person has 3 belts, person has 1 belt. That's 75%. So should the person be 75-25 then? At 147?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Let's be real, man. Let's be real.
It doesn't make any sense at all as far as I'm concerned. So, it's clear to me that he really wanted that fight. I think Spence really wants to make history. That was always his goal. I feel like the dude has always been a stand-up guy. has gone through a lot of different things, Jay. When you think about everything that Errol Spence has gone through in his career, to have gotten to this point is, in my opinion, after the accident, the retina tear, all of that stuff is amazing. It almost feels like it's his destiny to be undisputed welterweight champion. I feel like it's his destiny. And now to give up what I would just like, because most people are not giving up money these days, Jay. He gave up money in order to make this fight to accomplish his goal. He should be commended for that. And I'm happy that Terence Crawford took the fight. But one thing I want to say, and I want to take the opportunity to stress here: support the fight, bro. Go, if you're in the comment section, if you see this later, go support the fight. Whether it's being in person, buying it on pay-per-view, going and buying these gentlemen's merchandise, support the fight. Because regardless of what you think we feel about Terence Crawford, I do want him to be financially successful, because at the end of the day, he is correct in regards to they go into the ring, they put their lives on the line. This is how they take care of their families. And this is how they're going to set not only themselves up, but future generations up in terms of their family. So in that regard, go support the fight. I want to see Terence Crawford with the ability to set up his family for the rest of their lives and future generations. Yeah. And same with Errol Spence. So support the fight in any way you can, and hopefully multiple ways.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those fighters are putting their lives literally on the line for our entertainment. You know, regardless if you're on the Butt side or Spence side, you know, support the fight. I think it's going to be a dynamic fight between these two guys. Like they said, it's going to be something we talk about forever, for decades. You know, but
yeah, it's Sugar Ray versus Marvin Hagler. It really is. Yeah. It's Sugar Ray versus Marvin Hagler.
Yeah. Oh, salute Coach Joe. Appreciate the $1.99.
Yeah, salute, man. Salute. Yeah, go support this gentleman and ladies, because it's an excellent fight, and this is what we do, and this is how we're gonna get all these big fights, man. We gotta show love. We gotta bring the sport back. We gotta support the fighters. We gotta support the platforms that are coming on here and giving you this content, man. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Like, you know, some people talk trash about us saying that, oh, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, you guys talk about them, or you talk about Terence Crawford in a negative way. Listen, if I'm Terence Crawford, I don't care if you keep my name out there. Spence ain't no Marvin Hagler, bro. Oh, okay. We saying this is our version of All right, man. All right.
Well, appreciate you, Mr. Vegas. Mr. Vegas says, would y'all blame Spence if he walked away? I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. He's been on the shelf for how long? Because of this, you know. So I mean, I wouldn't have blamed him at all. I mean, I give Spence all the credit in the world because he's a man of his word. He said he was not going to fight anyone else but Spence, but because he wanted that undisputed. So I give him credit on that, 100%. You know, he didn't do anything. Now, could the accident that happened in, you know, November assisted him by not having to fight Thurman? Yeah, because his team, everyone else wanted to fight Thurman. They really did, because they're tired of the negotiation with Bud. Bud went to BLK, Brutus, or whatever it's called, with them that people didn't support.
Kevon Johnson said July 30th is going to be a hilarious day for the losing fan base. Dude.
Facts.
Dude, it's going to be fireworks. I'm telling you, from the time that fight starts until at least early Sunday morning, it's going to be literally fireworks. And if Errol Spence wins, I will be here for it. If he does it, someone else will host a show the following day.
Hey, Jermaine. Good point, Jermaine. Jermaine Wood. Jermaine Wood says that's not what it is. Support the fight, because if it's a success, then we can get more black versus black fighters. I agree with that as well.
That's a great point. Yeah. That is a great point. Come July 30th, somebody gonna be mad and not come to YouTube for a week for sure. Guys, the phone lines are open right now. The phone lines are open. As I mentioned earlier, I'm navigating all of this through my cell phone, so I might be a little bit delayed in this. So yeah, please bear with us. But the phone lines are open. Greg gonna have Bernie co-host.
Never that.
It's no way I could take that. It's no way I could take that dude's mouth. There's no way I could take his mouth.
Pause.
No, that would be take his mouth. Like, what are you talking about? That's not a pause one, is it? I don't think that was a pause one. All right, somebody call him, Jay. I hope I can hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear.
857, you on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. This is FSU Walk, man.
I can't hear him, Jay. Can you hear him?
Yeah, we can't. No, I can't hear nothing either.
Okay.
You can't hear me?
Give us 1 second, guys. My apologies. 1 second.
Yeah. Nah, what you said, that was definitely a pausable moment, man. Like, might want to delete that out. But either way, whoever loses, it's gonna be a rough day on July 30th. It's gonna be rough. You know, I'm just happy the fact that we got this fight. And regardless if Bud wins, I'm gonna give him all the credit. Spence win, I expect y'all Bud fans to give Spence the credit. So it is what it is. I ain't ducking and dodging no smoke. I was wrong on Teo versus Josh Taylor. I thought Teo was gonna get his ass beat just because the way Teo was looking and the way he looked against Sandor Martin and all the stuff that he was talking. It just seemed like he was he wasn't there mentally. But he beat Josh Taylor last. I came on 8 crow the next day. Like, hey, salute to Teo for that fight he did. He put in work. Same thing if Bud comes in there. Hey, good salute to Bud. He proved that he is the pound for pound king. He is the best right now. There we go.
You hear it now, Jay?
Yes, sir.
Ooh, well, I'm good.
You all right?
You on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. Who do we have in the building?
Jerry Soriano, your lender for life. What's going on, my friends?
Hey, man, what's going on with
What's
you?
going on, Jerry?
Probably not who you wanted to hear from, but here I am. Hey, so let me ask y'all. Going on this theme where belts don't matter, your accomplishments don't matter. It's all about who you attract, putting butts in the seats that determine the split. From that formula, I'm thinking Canelo Charlo should be 95-5 split. What do you think?
No.
95% Canelo, 5% Charlo? I mean, it seems about fair.
So Jerry, let me clarify something. So, of course, there's going to be, it needs to be reasonable. What I'm saying is that you're not getting a 50-50 split because you won titles in a prior weight class. But like, for instance, I'm going to use Errol Spence and Terence Crawford in their pay-per-view splits. If you probably base it off the pay-per-view splits in the gate, it's probably should be something like 75-25, to be honest with you. But you're not going to get anybody on the table or get anybody in the ring for that amount, right? So of course you're going to have to make some concessions. What we're saying is that he made more concessions than what was probably necessary, considering. It probably should have been a 65-35 split. It may be maybe like a 55-45. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I think Charlo's last pay-per-view was about 100,000. And if you figure that Canelo on any given good fight could bring in 1 million, that's 10-1. That's 10-1 right there, right?
Yeah, but I don't think Canelo has been putting in. What was his last pay-per-view? The Ryder fight? That wasn't 1 million buys. I think it was below 500.
But here's where we come in, where it becomes a problem. This is what I don't like about where this whole putting butts in seats, that determines this, doesn't matter what you've accomplished. Like I heard you last week say that what does Shakur Stevenson bring to a fight? If you think Shakur Stevenson brings nothing to a boxing match, boxing is done. Boxing is done as a sport. If you can honestly say, what does Shakur Stevenson bring to a boxing match? It's done. It's absolutely done. So, that, David Haney sending out if it's all true, sending out a 75-25 contract, those are non-starters. And I think we just have to begin to instead of the new duck being, hey, I lowball you, if you don't take it, then you're ducking. Because that's what Crawford was about. He got beat up for a year and a half. There are YouTube channels that literally made a career just trashing Crawford, saying that he was a duck for 18 months. and as soon as him and Spence get on the phone, bang, it gets made. And it's not about, hey, someone being greedy. It's just being about, let's be fair about it, because we all need a good dance partner to make a good fight, right? We have to start putting value in how good the opponent is.
I put value.
And I can't hear you that well. I hope you can hear me. But we just gotta get past that, or else we're not gonna get good fights. And I know Charlo's getting paid well simply because once they put Canelo under the umbrella, it's all in house. So he's probably getting paid well, and he deserves it. He's undisputed. But when we start not, discounting accomplishments and belts don't mean anything, guys like Haney, guys like Charlo, guys like whoever comes out of this undisputed match between Spence and Crawford, unless you're putting a million pay-per-view buys per fight, there's no value for being undisputed. Now that's just silly stuff. That's just my opinion. I don't know who else feels that way, but I just thought I'd just run that by y'all. Well, here's the reason why I called.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think people normally think, and I've heard you guys say it, that Spence is a better defensive fighter than Crawford? Spence has a better jab than Crawford, and he's better technically sound. Why do y'all believe that?
Because when you look at it, you break down Spence's style, the hand placement, the use of the jab, everything being set up off of the jab, the footwork, the making sure that you bring your hands back after you throw all of your punches. He does everything fundamentally sound, and that's now we love to quote the trainers when they say, "Oh, Terence Crawford is going to win," but every trainer that we've seen has said that he is probably one of the most fundamentally sound fighters in the sport. So if we agree that with the coaches, when the coaches say that Terence Crawford is going to win, then we must also agree with what they say when they say Errol Spence is has a level of skill and fundamentals that Terence Crawford does not. Crawford is more dynamic. Crawford is an athlete. Crawford is a great counterpuncher, but if you look at him, a lot of times his hands are down. When you look at him, he throws a lot of looping shots instead of straight shots. Those are not fundamentals that you are taught in the gym. He's just able to get away with it because of the athleticism.
Okay, I'll tell you this. If you're a Crawford fan, or if you're a Spence fan, if you're a Spence fan that hasn't watched a lot of Crawford fights, if you're a Crawford fan that haven't watched a lot of Spence fights, then your opinion is going to be heavy-handed one way or another. But I can tell you this. I've seen all the Spence fights. I've seen all the Crawford fights. And I was actually a very big Spence fan. And I was favoring him over Crawford until after I saw the Porter fight. And Spence was talking big game going into that Porter fight. And he got lumped up bad. He got lumped up bad by someone, which I'm heavy on punch placement, someone that doesn't punch accurate. If you're talking about somebody who wings punches, somebody who just comes in and bowls you over, that was Porter. And the fact that Spence was able to get caught so much in that fight, I was like, there's no way this guy can beat Crawford. There's just no way. That fight just changed my opinion. And Porter gives everybody a hard fight. There's no doubt about it. But what troubled me in that fight was that Spence's face was just lumped up bad. He just got caught with a lot of punches and Porter even said it, that he gets frustrated when you catch Spence. He gets really, really frustrated. And I just see him having a hard time with an accurate puncher like Crawford. Now let's talk about punches, right? Do you know that Spence lands about 5.8 jabs a round, and Crawford lands 5.5 jabs a round?
Versus who?
Do you know that Spence gets caught by his opponents an average of 9.5 punches a round? Crawford 7.2 punches around. So when you dig into the numbers, nothing says that Spence has a better jab, and nothing says that he's a better defensive fighter because he gets hit with a lot more punches, and his opponents have a lot more success connecting, whether it's punches to the body, whether it's jabs, whether it's power punching. All the numbers are higher on Spence's side versus Crawford's side. So I was always wondering why people thought that Spence was a much better defensive fighter, and that his jab was better, and that he was a better puncher. Now, go ahead.
Can I add something to that real quick?
Who do you fight?
When you think about it, it's who do you fight, but I'm not even going to go down that path. When you think about stylistically how these two gentlemen fight, Errol Spence is a much more aggressive fighter who throws way more punches than Terence Crawford. Meaning,
he throws more punches, but they're wasted.
Yes.
He's not connected.
That's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is this. With Terence Crawford, he gives you less opportunities to counter him because he doesn't throw as many punches. He's always waiting for you to throw a punch. So yes, probably the connect percentage would be lower. Errol Spence, for someone who is so aggressive, who throws so many punches, the fact that he doesn't get hit that much is amazing. And that's the reason why people deem him to have a better defense. If Terence Crawford picked up the level of punches thrown, I guarantee you his connect percentage against him would increase.
Okay, so let me. Do you think? Because I know you guys aren't firm on if you're going to be here Sunday, July 30th, or what the situation is.
Spence win.
Okay, but I can guarantee you both one thing.
Yep.
Spence will not be throwing as many punches as he has thrown in any previous of his fights. I can guarantee you that. Just like when Porter went up against Crawford, his output dropped tremendously, and everybody can say you can say whatever you want. He was out of shape. He wasn't ready. He wasn't focused. He had one foot out the door. Where no one talks about, and Porter said himself, he was thinking about retiring after the Spence fight. Nobody brings that up. Porter said it. Porter said, I was thinking about retiring after the Spence fight. So I commend Porter because he's in the middle of everything, especially in this fight, And Crawford's got to go out there and say, well, you hurt because I knocked out Spence, Porter, and you couldn't do it. I mean, it's just something really sticky about that fight, and it's a shame that his dad had to jump into it. He should have just let the fight end the way it was going to end. But again, Crawford gets the short end of the stick once again. So with I want to leave you all with this because I can't really hear you, Greg. But I just want to make sure that if Spence wins this fight, he'll get all the credit in the world. And I'll call in, I'll give him all the credit in the world. But I can guarantee you, if Spence wins, he's not going to win the way he's been winning in any of his previous fights. And the one thing that I'm a little concerned about is Derrick James. He's a good guy. Hard not to like him, but he seems way too relaxed. And when people talk to him about how's he going to beat Crawford, all he talks about is breaking audible bones. And I don't know. I just think he may be getting too relaxed, be reading too much of the press clippings. Last night, his other fighter didn't look too good. Wasn't prepared. Again, you maybe just kind of reading the press clippings, thinking you're more than what you really are, and you're not putting in that hard work. I just hope that's not the case, and that for Spence, and Spence is definitely prepared, and he comes out 100%. Because honestly, the last thing anybody wants on either side, after all the build-up, is to hear any damn excuses from anybody, from Crawford, from Spence. Like, nobody wants to hear any excuses after this fight. I'm going to hang up and listen to your responses. Thanks for having me on. Y'all enjoy your afternoon. Thank you, my friends.
All right. Appreciate it, Jerry. Thanks for the call.
What Bo Mac going to do?
That was Jerry, your lender for life. No, I mean, Jerry had a good point in terms of just the splits of the fighters, but the other stuff, I don't agree with. So let's answer this one. You're on the Angry Man podcast with Jason and Greg. I don't have my normal stuff here, but I believe this is FSU Walk.
Yeah. That dude Jerry, man, he's good for a laugh, man. Every Sunday. It's like Gary. He's gonna be the one. He's like gonna be the one with the excuses that Sunday. It's like, guarantee you, it's like he comes. You heard him with the statistics. Then when Greg destroyed him, saying, yeah, if he throws as many punches, he went to another excuse, you know. And then he said the thing about Derrick James. You see, Fat Man be talking about whooping like Errol's not even that good.
Dude, I totally hear you on that one. With him, dude, I don't. If you're a fan of that guy, you're a fan of that guy. But man, you can't think that every time he comes on, no matter what you say about Errol, he's always breaking him down like he's really not that. Then he's giving Terence credit for the way he fights, and you guys, everybody knows he fought a bag of nickels. Yeah, to me, there's no reason for us to reiterate what he fought.
Yeah,
the version of Sean Porter that he fought, I don't believe was the better version. And then I also thought that Spence fought. Number one, I think there was two things that were going on. I think Spence didn't take. I don't want to say take serious. Look at Spence and his physique versus Sean Porter. And I've never said this on camera. I'm gonna say it now because I noticed this. Look at how Errol looked body wise versus Sean Porter, and look at how he looked in subsequent fights, like the Ugas fights. He looked shredded in the Ugas fight. He looked a little soft in the Porter fight. I feel that when he went to that fight, he fought the wrong fight and hadn't prepared the way he should have prepared. That's my personal opinion. I'm not making an excuse for him. That's just what I believe. Now, at the end of the day, if they want to use, I think Sean Porter is fool's gold. If anybody's using those two fights as a comparison for why one fighter will win versus the other one, I think that is absolute fool's gold. Because I don't think you fought the same versions, and I don't think either one of the fighters fight the same style, and I don't think either one of the fighters went into the fight with the same mindset. So with that being said, you just cannot use that as a comparison and a basis for.
I agree. But real quick, what I called for today was like, I heard y'all talking about Boots earlier and about what he hasn't done and what you need to see. And we're not going to get to see that. So he's really caught in a bad position because Errol and Terence are both at that age where they're not going to fight him now. And everybody else that's left at 147, Staniosis is tailor-made for him. Ortiz is tailor-made for him. It's like, and Thurman doesn't move like he used to move. So he's going to wash them guys. So he's never going to get the credit until, like, even when he moves up to 154, they'll be near the end of their careers. So he's going to have to make his bones everywhere else. But the thing about Frank Martin, man, can y'all name me one fighter in their career that's never had a tough fight or bad night? Like, this generation, I'm 60 years old, I don't get it. If a dude loses, everybody, he's done. And if a dude has a tough fight, they automatically, he ain't that dude. Like, Ennis chase dude around, I don't know. It's like until you see him in there with them, we're not going to know.
No, I agree with that, but let me tell you what concerned me about Frank. And I want to be fair to Frank. But what concerned me about Frank was it was clear what he needed to do.
He wasn't throwing.
It wasn't, it wasn't a deficiency in what it was like. Why aren't you throwing? Why aren't you initiating?
I can't believe this. I watched a clip of y'all earlier. A Miami dude came up with a good thing. He was saying it. The Miami J. He was saying he wasn't throwing. I was like, damn, I'm agreeing with a Miami dude.
I don't know what.
I'm trying to make you learn. I'm trying to teach y'all, man. I'm trying to teach y'all.
I couldn't believe it. He finally came up with, I was like, man.
Not a Miami dude.
I almost checked my temperature, see if I was okay.
We're halfway cool. You
know I'm messing with you, man. But hey, much love, man. Y'all have a great day.
All right, man. Appreciate you all. Thank you for calling, bro. All right, Jay. That was FSU Walt, the man, the myth, the legend. We still got the phone lines open, guys. Got somebody else calling in. got the 901 call. I think is this a Memphis number?
901, yeah.
901. I believe you in Memphis. Are you on Orange Mound? If you are, please get out ASAP.
Hey, Jason and Greg. Good evening. This is Santos out of New England. How you doing?
What's going on with you, bro?
Good, fellas. Good. I got 4 points real quick. I'll try to get through them. First is really respect the channel in the chat. What I like particularly is how y'all have a set time. I love boxing, but I'm working. I got kids, and I can't be on it all day. So I like how y'all aren't on live every day, but when y'all are on, it's a set time. So that's really awesome for me and everybody else. So with Spence and Bud, so I'm really, last time I called, I'm really into like more of the negotiation, the business side. And from what we saw, from me, folks can disagree, but Spence is an effective negotiator, and he is who saved this fight. His ability to stay chill and stay calm. The fact that I think y'all saw that in all the presses, but they respected each other. You didn't hear them name calling. I mean, they name call a little bit, but you didn't hear them kind of go irate or put their hands on each other. And I think that just shows being calm under pressure is helpful. I mean, so I'll give credit to both sides, but the ability to concede, even though you know your worth, to get what you really want, I think that says a lot. And hopefully that has others. As you can tell, I fanboy for Spence. I'm not going to lie about that. But I think that can really show other divisions, other fighters, that that's how you go about it. That you can, you can get the bag, you can keep the relationship. You can go for legacy too. And finally, for Spence, at least staying true to your word. So I've actually used this for the past month. I work on corporate transactions and deals, and man, it's helped to kind of slow down, to really say, I want this deal so bad. Let me see how we can problem solve and make it work. So just his demeanor, I think, helped that. I already knew that Bud was holding this up, so his ability to concede, his ability to be realistic, and although he got some of his demands, I think there could have been a broader line share. So somebody in the chat, well, I respect him, but, the negotiations are over. I'm like, well, for Bud, who wants to deal with him again? So if I make a deal difficult with you, Greg, you're not going to want to deal with me again. If I call and show disrespect, you probably block my number. So you kind of have to think about that. Real quick, Haney, Shakur, still on the friend of negotiation. I don't think the offer or not accepting was a duck. Everyone's saying that. I'm like, that's bull. That the art and science of negotiation is, Jason, you offer, I counter, we go back and forth until we get a deal. That's what we saw, Bud and Spence did. So some channels have said the 25% offer was Haney ducking, Shakur not accepting it was a duck. I'm like, that's not. It would go back and forth until we get a mutual price point. And so to that point, I think Shakur. Now we see Haney has options, right? So the deal that Greg, that I gave you today is different tomorrow if you don't accept it. So I think he needs to do what Charlo said: humble yourself. Maybe take less, and he's kind of following the footsteps of his big brother Crawford a little bit, and I don't think that track record is not going to work. Yeah, Crawford did get the fight, but made it difficult, right? So I think he needs to stop tweeting. He needs to talk privately and see what happens. And then finally, and then that's when we get your points here. I don't know where you stand on Canelo, but for me, I do fanboy for Canelo. The king stays king. Only in the sense of the PBC deal, that was always going to be an alternative. So he went over there, devoured everything that Eddie Hearn gave him, and then came back to PBC. So I think, I don't know what industries y'all are in, but the fact that you can ask for what you want and get it quickly. I'm here in New England, and Taylor Swift came a month ago, and she shut the whole world down, and she changed the market. People really wanted her to be here, and she changed the local economy. So, like, if you can, I think Canelo's doing that. We see Spence trying to do that when you can really make the ask and get what you want, and it can just kind of be a ripple effect for everybody else. So those are my 4 points. Curious your thoughts on any of them, and curious what you got to say.
No, I mean, from Spence being cool on the negotiations, I think that's
key.
That was pivotal, right? Because I know sometimes with me, man, somebody comes to me with a deal that I don't like. Well, I'll tell you about yourself very quickly. So, no, I think definitely just being cool under pressure with both gentlemen to some extent. But I think Terence Crawford just knew that he had a bargaining chip there that he was able to use to get what he wanted, and he knew how bad Errol wanted it, and Errol made the fight happen. In regards to the 25%, I do agree that that's typically a starting point. Now, I don't know if this is a situation where Devin has already spoke to what it is that he requires in order to make the fight, and the 25% is what's left over. It just, I don't know. I think the who's he trying to go through? Was it the WBO, Jay? I think it was the WBO.
Oh,
I believe they're split.
Yeah, WBC.
Was it the WBC? I thought it was the WBO he was trying to route through. But anyway.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Somebody pulled up WBO. Somebody pulled up WBO rules, and the splits was, I think the percentage that he would have been guaranteed if it would have gone to a purse split was even less than the 25%. So good point. At the end of the day, that fight is not going to happen because there's just not enough money on the table to satisfy everybody that's associated with the fight. That's why the fight's not going to happen. So it is what it is. What was the other thing you mentioned? What was your other two points? I'm sorry, my brain is.
Oh no, you're good, man. I know I went through it a lot. No. Well, it's just still with Haney. Yeah, I mean the fact that Haney now, there's a lot of hate towards Haney. So I'm careful because Father Bill may pull up. I don't want to, but no, there's just this idea. Now he has different options. So Haney created options for himself. So now Shakur is no longer being talked about. I don't know if he went to Bob. I think it's just, you got to be, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I don't think that he actually, you saw in the tweet, he respected Loma and then kind of crapped on Haney, but that could be a cultural thing. Black folks, we banter, we'll go back and forth, but I think they could deal with that privately, and I think it would have been nice if he would have saw that. I just personally feel that he's following his big brother Crawford, and I think that's going to mess him up. Mark my words on this. I'm going to first say I think he's going to get disgruntled in a couple years, and he's going to want to get out of Top Rank.
I totally agree.
So
with that. He actually taken the Floyd Mayweather route, right? I'm hearing myself echo for some reason.
Okay, I don't know if that's me, brother. It's raining here too. I know Jason said it's raining, but I can hear you fine.
Yeah, Floyd had Jay Prince. Remember Floyd had Jay Prince? He was with Top Rank.
He did. Yeah.
Like, what is it that Jay? I love Jay Prince. I got a lot of respect for Jay Prince, but I don't know what it is that Jay Prince does in the realm of boxing. So it seems like there are
Lefty hear you say that.
Pockets. Why?
Yeah.
Lefty likes he likes Jay Prince.
No, he don't.
Okay.
I don't think he does.
So anyway, so it seems like he has a lot of people in his pocket. And to me, that's just the wrong move to begin with, right? Set yourself up with somebody who is a manager who is legit in the sport of boxing. Get yourself a top-notch promoter, man. That's probably what you need. The rest of your team is your coaches and that kind of stuff, and your lawyer.
So
it seems like and that's a lot of people in this corner.
Yeah, well, this idea, like you can, I don't know if y'all agree or disagree, but I'm feeling like, again, he just got into the division. How do you make demands? He's doing what Bud did, and I'm thinking he's thinking, okay, well, my big brother did it this way, so let me do it that way. But I'm like, no, why don't you call out, get under Loma a little bit, see if that can happen. You got Cam. I get that Eastside Cruz is potentially ducking you, but I just think there's ways that you can get more clamor, or I think you could have countered that 25% because Bob wants the belts back in his stable because they were lost originally from Teo, right? So I think he could have leveraged that a little bit. I think he could have shown a little deference to Haney publicly. I'm not saying he had to kiss his behind, but I'm just saying, a little respect. He is champ, and people call him whatever, but he's about to smoke. I mean, I don't fan for him. I actually was fanning for Loma. I wanted Loma to win, but I'm just looking at what he's doing. He is going places and doing things others aren't right now, and he's putting himself in a position to have options. I mean, that's the best thing in any of our lives, to be able to negotiate and have options. Like he can drain himself down for Shakur. He can wait for Tank. He can go to Teo Pro. I mean, that's really awesome position to be in. So I hope that Shakur, because he just I just can't hear all the potential. But until you fight somebody, there's nothing there. I think the last thing I brought up was Canelo. I don't know if y'all fans of him or not, but I was just thinking the deal-making side. You can kind of, critique me on the boxing part of it, but that was always an alternative deal. BBC was always there. So this guy devoured, got everything from Eddie Hearn, and then said, okay, thank you. Now I'm going back, and I'm going to get the rest of this bag.
So first and foremost, we're not necessarily Canelo fans. A fan of his.
Okay. Respect. Okay.
how he's moved in his career. I think he went on a Euro diet over there, and I think you're right. I think he bled out the zone and got that bag and left. Now, I think now that he's over at PBC, I don't think he's going to be allowed to do that. I believe that they probably already set up his fights and know who he's going to fight. You have to fight names over there in order to make that bag. So it'll be interesting to see if he gets in the ring with somebody like Benavidez. I'll be excited to see that. If he fights Mel, Benavidez, and I know people think he might fight, but I would like to see him maybe fight somebody like Morrell.
Thanks, right?
He ain't fighting Benavidez.
Well, if he doesn't fight Benavidez on this deal, this he's a duck. I'm sorry, he's just another duck to me.
He already came out saying that Benavidez talks too much and he didn't talk that much. And ain't done. He just doesn't want to fight Benavidez.
Well, shut him up then. Shut him up. He's talking too much. Shut him up.
Yeah, go shut him up. Go shut him up if he's talking. That's the school of thought I came from when I was growing up.
That's a big money fight.
I'm a demonstrate. So it is what.
Do y'all think he should have did it in reverse? Do y'all think he should have been in reverse?
No, because I don't think he never gets to the zone.
Oh, if he would have did PBC first, clear. I was like, clear out 168 and then go for this legacy for Bivol or whatever, and then retire after that if you get it. So you're saying it was smart to go to zone, bleed him out, and then now come back and get the fight work. Okay.
Business-wise, it was very smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, that's all I got, man.
All right. Well, appreciate you for calling, man. Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all again, and thank y'all for letting folks call, and you don't cut folks off even if they disagree with you. And again, man, I appreciate what y'all are doing. Keep the live once a week if you can, man. I can't watch it every day, but I have this marked out time. Everybody knows Daddy's watching Angry Man podcast, so I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Have a good one.
No problem at all. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Yeah, man. We don't cut anybody off, man. We let people talk.
Yeah.
Now, some people like to come on and be combative, and of course, we'll go back and forth with them. But we do like to have people get their opportunity to say what it is that's on their mind.
It's a community at the end of the day.
It's a community at the end of the day. We got the 310 in the building. Who do we have on the line?
Adrian from LA, man. What's up, guys?
What's going on with
What's
you?
up, Adrian? I know you ready.
Chilling. Oh, yeah, you know how it is. Hey, did you guys, I was going to get at you. So did you guys hear about that interview? But it was in Spanish, so Benavidez' dad was kissing Canelo's ass, man. Did you hear about that one?
No.
Like, he's apologizing, all this stuff, and I was like, man, is that the strategy now? Because I think he's all saying, that, I'm going to paraphrase what he was saying. I'm in Spanish to English, but he's pretty much was saying that, like, I apologize, for pissing you off or blah, blah, blah. We were just trying to, get under your skin so we could get you to accept the fight, But as he's seen, it didn't work. So now his strategy now is to kiss his ass, and Canelo's going to give him a fight. I don't know what's going on, but Canelo's not going to fight him, man.
He ain't.
You're not going to fight him.
Yeah,
so what do you guys think about that interview? You think it's kind of weird or what? I mean, what do you think about that?
Do you know what podcast
it kind of aligns with what you just said, Jason, by him saying that they talk too much. Now you're trying to change it to something else. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not kissing your eye. If I come in talking trash, I'm gonna go out talking trash. That's me. And I mean, most people that grew up with me can attest to that. Why I was talking trash when I was winning.
No matter how many times
I was talking trash. Yep, I was talking trash when I was winning. I'm talking trash while I'm losing.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Because you think about it, because I mean, I guess I can understand what he's doing, but I wouldn't recommend doing it. But he's doing anything that he can to get his son that fight. But hopefully it does happen. I don't know what Al Heyman's angle is coming at that 3-fight deal, because I'm sure Al Heyman wants to make some money and everything, but it doesn't look like as if Benavidez will be part of that 3-fight deal. I hope I'm wrong, man, but he's also got he got Boo Boo Doo Andre, whatever his name is. He got him to fight, and he's gonna go. He's gonna fight Charlo, Doo Andre, and then he can always go Plant or something like that, and skip Benavidez. Maybe Canelo told Al Heyman, hey man, part of the deal of me coming over here is hey, I don't want to fight Benavidez. I don't even want to hear about it. Don't even bring it up. because it just seems like he's trying to avoid it or something, you know.
Yeah, he absolutely like he's trying to avoid the fight, bro.
Yeah, he don't want that fight.
Yeah, you don't want that fight at all. Hey, one more thing. I don't want to take too much of your time, man. But as far as the Boots thing goes, hey, man, Boots, like I say, Boots hasn't fought, the caliber of fighter like Errol Spence and Terence Crawford and all that. But let me tell you right now, man. But I would sure love to see him do it, and I would definitely pick him. I would pick him over those guys. I really would. I'm probably against the majority of the people out there, but Boots just has some talent that I've just never seen before, man. He's just awesome. The guy just get great attitude. I just love the guy, man. Everything about him is positive, and the best trainer in the business. But what gets me about Boots is that he got a chin, man. He took some hits because VA can hit, and Boots ate those hits up like nothing, man. And I know Bud would have went down from some of those hits right there, So one thing about Boots, not only is Boots a great boxer and a great, switch hitter. He's a real switch hitter. He's not no fake. He's a real switch hitter. But he can take a hit, So, hopefully we'll see what's up with his future goes and all that. But just want to leave you guys at that and, get your opinion on that Benavidez bullshit because, man, I don't know, man. Canelo just hearing his name pisses me off, man. I don't want to hear about that fool. But, hey, man, I just want to congratulate you guys and to see you guys in membership is going high, man. Hey, tripping out on you guys. You guys are doing good right now, man. Really happy, man.
Appreciate it, man.
But,
appreciate it.
Hey, man, all the love from LA, baby, all the love from LA. Hey, man, but I want to wish you guys a very happy Sunday. You guys have a real good day. Appreciate all your time that you guys put in for all these videos and everything that you guys do. Send a shout out to my dad in heaven. Love you, Dad. And my son, Jeremiah. Love you, son. You guys have a great day, man. See you guys next Sunday, man. Appreciate it.
All right, sounds good, man. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Bye.
All right, we're gonna take two more calls and then we're gonna wrap this show. Unfortunately, guys, I'm traveling today and this one was a tough one. Again, my apologies for starting the show. What was it, an hour and 40 minutes later than what we normally would? It was just, it was some challenges with the travel schedule. But yeah, I know we just missed a call, so we'll take two more and then we're gonna wrap this one up. We got the 636 in the building. I don't ever remember seeing this area code. So who do we have?
The one, the only, the undefeated, the undisputed King Age of Math. Make some noise, y'all.
What's going on with you, man?
Yeah, I'm chilling. I ain't gonna hold you up. In light of Crawford's last fight, he had some glove issues. Would they take extra precaution, checking the gloves to make sure we don't have a glove gate part 2?
I'm pretty sure they will. Everybody saw that, so more than likely. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's already some stipulations in terms of what gloves must be worn as a part of the fight. They can be that meticulous, but surely they will make sure that they're checking those gloves in a meticulous fashion to make sure that there's no issues with them.
Yeah, because I haven't, really heard either side, bring it up. Maybe it was just an anomaly that, his gloves malfunctioned in that fight. But a fight of this magnitude, we don't want to leave no stones unturned.
Agreed.
I think they're both using the same pair of gloves, though.
No, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think they're using the same glove. I think they might both be using Everlast, if I'm not mistaken. I saw something a month ago, I want to say, about it. So I think it's the same glove. But they definitely still need to check them, no matter what.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I have Spence winning pretty much convincingly, easily. I wouldn't be surprised if it's early mid round, 6 or 7 rounds. I wouldn't be surprised. I think the second good combination Spence lands on him, it's going to be just pretty much downhill from there from Bud. And Bud is a talented fighter, but I don't see him being on Spence caliber.
I think he's a talented fighter. I see the fight being closer than that. I think it's going to be a really, really good fight. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends early, but if it does, I think it ends somewhere between 9 and 10. Would not be surprised if it goes the distance, but the stylistic matchup, I think we're going to be in for a real treat.
Okay. One last thing. After the fight, well, like I say, I can't, move off the stance that Spence will win this fight. So what does Bud do for her? We understand there's supposed to be, a rematch clause, but he said he probably wouldn't be interested in taking that. So you think it'd be cool if Bud just stayed at 147 and try to, become undisputed at 147 once Spence move up?
So that's interesting, man. If he wins, Ennis is waiting for him. If he loses and he still wants to become undisputed at 147, Ennis is waiting for him.
Yeah, so I wanted to hang up and let y'all answer because I know some other people trying to call in and I want to hog the line. But great show, guys. I've been tuning in. Reach me up, man. Reach me up. I'll be in the chat.
What's your name again in there?
King Asia Math.
King Asia Math. Oh, salute to Pittsburgh Big Dog. Salute to Terrence Bailey. Salute to Isaac Green. I think I see JJ, some of the other guys that I be seeing on some of the other channels. But hey, y'all are doing good numbers. Y'all trajectory is definitely going up. Peace and blessing, and keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, man. Put a comment in the comment section so I can see your name.
Yes, sir. I will. I'll add you, Greg, and I'll add you, Jason. Okay.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Later. Oh, that's him right there. Marquis King. Oh, no, that's not him. All right, man, we're going to take one more call, and then we're going to wrap this show up. Jay, can you write his name down and make sure we wrench him up? And for everybody that comes who has a wrench, make sure, man, unless somebody is using racial slurs or some stuff like that, we let everybody talk, man. Come on, and whether we agree with them or not, we let them talk. So let's not, let's make sure we don't, stop people from getting their thoughts out. Mr. Vegas, you didn't tell me you wanted a wrench. Write Mr. Vegas' name down for a wrench. Write Jay name down for a wrench.
Jay already had one too.
I think I tried to find Jay once, man. I don't know what's happening. I thought two different people just called in. I think we missed both of them. Yeah, or maybe I'm just doing something wrong.
Probably doing something
Jay,
wrong.
Jay, I think I tried to find you one time, and I couldn't. You might have to send me your email or something. I'm not sure, but I'll try to add you, Mr. Vegas. You shouldn't be too hard to find. I hope not. Okay, here we go. We got two people calling in. All right, we'll take both of them. I'll try to add you, Mr. Vegas. You shouldn't be too hard to find. You in the building? 510. Call us back after the 919. 919. What's going on with you?
Oh snap! Okay, it's Mark M, man. I was trying to get on a couple times, and I finally got through. So what's up?
What's going on with you, bro?
What's happening?
Yeah, man, I did want to call, try to big up my man, but we ain't really, got that much time. So there's one thing I did want to, get talk about. It's about kind of hot take, but my thing is that I don't think you guys are. I think people are giving DJ Derrick James a lot of credit, just a lot of credit for being the corner man for a bunch of champions and everything. But I think last night we saw that DJ is not the savant, boxing savant that people are saying he is, because he did not give what's his name, Frank Martin. He did not give Frank Martin all of the instructions that Frank should have had, because Frank Martin really was out there.
I totally disagree with you. I totally disagree. I think he gave Frank Martin exactly what he needed. Frank wasn't listening. But go ahead.
What would be the instruction there? Is just to throw your hands? Is that what we saying is the masterful boxing? Is that the corner man doing an excellent job?
Yeah, so if you look at what he was doing, he was actually showing him exactly the combinations that he needed to try to get off and the angle that he needed to take in order to attack him. And he was telling him that you need to be aggressive. You need to get off first. So that's exactly what you want from a corner man. I mean, that's exactly what you want.
So okay. My thing is okay. If Frank Martin wasn't doing that, then is that not a indictment on the corner? Like, I mean, I'm not. He can't get out there and fight for it, you know.
That's on Frank.
But like, what is DJ doing to get it through to Frank Martin that he will lose this fight if he does not do exactly what he said?
Exactly what DJ did. He stayed on him in the corner, and Frank even said, like, I see it, I just can't pull the trigger. And DJ, it was like, why? Pull the damn trigger, basically.
I think somebody said this in the comment section that was it earlier today? They said they think Frank was in some cheeks the night before. Dog, how you can't pull the trigger, bro? What's wrong with you?
That's and that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, I can't be too hard on DJ. I mean, I done seen him do his work. I done seen at least one example comes to mind is I believe it was Jermell Charlo versus was it Lopez, I believe, or I don't really remember who it was.
It couldn't have been Lopez. Lubin was like 15 seconds.
Yeah, he turned his power button off.
Maybe Jermall then. Maybe Jermall. Was it Jermall versus J-Rock? Did that happen?
He's never trained him.
DJ don't train them all. He just trained Mel.
Oh, wow, that wasn't even him. Dang, okay. I can't use that one as a example then. But I would say that that fight, the J-Rock fight for, I think it was Jamal. He said, after the fight, his coach had, told him, hey, catch it with the right hand, come under with the underhook. And Jamal said he had tried it one time before. He didn't get it. He tried the second time, stuck the landing. And those are the type of things that I'm looking for. Those are the things that you remember from the corner, or like a Teddy Atlas, getting on the phone saying your son's on the phone or something like that. You do you want to go to your son be a loser or whatnot? Like those type of things, like things that you remember from the corner. Not saying that these are all technical boxing things that you can emulate or something like that. But it's a difference. It makes a difference for those fighters rather than just hey throw your hands. You gotta throw your hands out there. You gotta beat them to the punch. Like I hear all the trainers say that. So that's all I was But
we appreciate you for calling.
All I got.
Anything else you want to share with the people?
Say that one more time.
Anything else you want to share with the people before we move to the next call?
No, that's it, man. I appreciate the time and everything. Love the show and everything. I always try to support when I can, and y'all keep going, man. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling.
No problem.
Hey, Mr. Vegas, King Asia Math. Y'all should be straight now. I think I got y'all straight now with the wrench.
Perfect. Thank you, Jason. Boy, by the time you learn something technical.
Shut up.
Okay, we got one more call we're going to take. This is the last one.
You. God, I hate you.
This is the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. What's going on with you, bro?
Shalom. What's going on, fellas? It's Judah.
What's going on?
What's happening?
Hey, man. I think a lot of people looking too much into that Frank Martin fight last night, man. I think Frank did good, man. The guy, a lot of people not giving that guy no credit, man. He's a Olympian, bronze medalist. He was a good boxer, man. Some people you just can't run through,
I agree. The only issue I have, bro, is the only issue I have is that Frank knew what he needed to do, and for whatever reason, he couldn't do it. So I don't know if he overtrained. I don't know if he was having relations the night before. Something was not right, or the IQ wasn't there. I don't know what was not right, but something wasn't right.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm like, I need to see some more.
Yeah, I think the guy was neutralizing him a little bit just from his ring IQ. I think the guy's ring IQ actually did something to Frank. I think Frank could learn how to cut off the ring more because he was following the guy around all night. You know what I'm saying? Guy was running, but he was following him all night and letting him slip out the back door. You know what I'm saying? He was slipping out the back door and he was just running. But as you can see, though, the punches that the guy was hitting him with was not effective at all. He didn't wobble Frank not one time. A lot of that shit was caught in the gloves. You know what I mean? But one thing we can say, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody in Top Rank or nobody else is going to be fighting the level of competition that Frank Martin is fighting. Bob Arum would have never picked no goddamn Shakur Stevenson up against no Michelle Rivera. You know what I'm saying? And he's fighting another undefeated guy with this one. So the level of competition that Frank Martin is fighting, I think, is way past what Shakur is fighting. You know what I'm saying? Shakur, for one, he gives me privilege. You know, I mean, you could come up to 135 and have one fight and just think you're supposed to have a undisputed title shot after that. That's the problem that I got. The politics about is getting outrageous. You know what I'm saying? For this guy to come up one fight and then expect for a guy and then want more than 25% for a undisputed title shot, I think that's too much. You know what I'm saying? But I do think the level of competition that Frank Martin is fighting is on a high level. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people not giving him credit. But I think he still do good against those guys, Haney and Shakur, and you know what I'm saying? And maybe even Tank. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, I think so, man. I think he's good. Styles make fights, and that guy just was a bad dance partner, you know? That's all.
Yeah. Styles make fights. I still got Tank and Shakur over him right now.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
This version of Frank last night. This version of Frank last night he'll be in big trouble. I think it's just he had a bad matchup and he had a bad night as well. You know, I think
exactly.
he knows he can't. He knows he can't be like that against a Shakur, Devin, or Tank. It won't end well for him, especially against Tank.
Yeah, I think, especially against Tank. But for real, I think he mops Devin Haney. I think he finishes Devin Haney. I think him and Shakur would be a great fight. I would love to see that fight, man. But Bob Arum would never put Shakur in there with nobody like him, man. But I would love to see him and Shakur. I actually think he beat Shakur. You know, I like Frank, man. I mean, I like Frank. I don't know. It's something about that guy, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. He's gonna be nice at 135, man. Mark my words. I know he had a bad outing last night, but that motherfucker, he gonna be nice at 135, man. For real. I think he gives I don't know. I think Tank might beat him. I think Tank might got too much power for him, but I think he mops Devin. He puts Devin down.
Yeah, I don't think he gets Tank. Hey, Greg.
Yeah, Tank is kind of. Yeah, I agree. Tank is kind of like a long shot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, but Tank the one, man. You know, I think Devin Haney need to go ahead, hurry up and sign that contract, fight Tank, man. If he gonna fight at 135 again, man, get that money, man, and go ahead and move up, man.
Yeah, I think that's his only.
You know what I'm saying?
For Devin, I agree with Devin at 135 should only fight Tank. I don't think Frank mops him. I think it's a good matchup. It's a great matchup to see who's going to employ their will over the other. Devin's going to use that jab and see if he can keep Frank at bay. Frank's going to try to have to see if he actually listens and goes around that jab one way or another, but I don't think he mops Devin.
I think if he fight the way he fought Rivera, if he just come, if he come straight forward and walk Devin down, Devin fades in the late rounds at 135, man. He shouldn't be fighting at this weight, man. He faded a little bit against Lomachenko. He just can't be fighting at 135. I think the power of Frank Martin and the constant pressure, I think Devin will fold. I think Devin fold on that one. You know what I'm saying? Now, Shakur and Frank, I would love to see that. Say what?
Anything else you want to share with the people?
Nah, that's it, man. I appreciate it, man. Big fan of the channel. Shalom.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining and giving us a call.
All right, no problem, man. Shalom. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Shalom.
All right, man. Peace. All right, Jay. That's gonna wrap up the show, man. So let me say, if you haven't had the opportunity, guys, please hit the like button on the way out. Greg knew he was talking nonsense. That's why he got him off the line. So yeah, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please hit the like button. Again, if you're new to the channel, this is the Angry Man Podcast. Make sure you become a subscriber and check out all the content we have. We now have the merch that you guys were asking us for. We have these hats. We have T-shirts and polos and all that great stuff. So go check it out at the store at your own leisure. And if you haven't had the opportunity, man, consider becoming a member of the channel. That's how we do all this. It helps us to, to make these great videos and content. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. Again, appreciate you guys for joining us today. And I know we got off to a late start, but I'm traveling. I'll be traveling all week, but we'll still be getting out great content to you guys. Jay, anything else you want to share with the people before we wrap this one up?
No, only just want to say appreciate Jay, C. Dewberry, Coach Joe, and Mr. Vegas for the donations. They will appreciate that. Someone also mentioned, like, as far as merch, is water bottles possibly.
Yeah, we can look into it for sure.
Yeah.
We'll definitely look into that. But yeah, go check it out. More merch will be put up there very soon. Different versions of these hats as well. So feel free to send us a message or post on the community or whatever to let us know what you're thinking and if there's anything that we need to change. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it, man. Thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll be back next Sunday and be on the lookout for content all this week.
All right, appreciate y'all.
All right, peace. All right, man.